So when you say traditional country, I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers yesterday about y'all remind me a lot of some of the '90s artists that were big in country, and a very
Totally what we're going for.
yeah. Well, that's
exactly
good,
what we're going for, yeah.
and it just seems like it's a party. Y'all are playing, you're performing for an audience who is wanting to have a good time, wanting to dance. That
We kind of want to bring the beer joint back to
Yeah.
Texas radio, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And just good time shuffles, and, you don't hear a lot of shuffles that much anymore. And so, kind of have that stuff, and fiddles and steel guitar, and good dance hall country, basically.
yes,
Our formula from day one, not really a formula, but that's kind of what we called it was, if you're sitting in a beer joint and you hear this song come on, does it make you want to get up and take your girlfriend dancing or your wife dancing? If that is it, then that's what we're going to want to play. So that's
Whichever
kind
one happens to be there.
might want to edit it.
no,
It's country music, ain't it?
yeah, it's true. Yeah, you know your audience, man. So, talking about that day one, I asked you guys kind of off air, how long you've been together and how long you've been performing like this, and you were telling me that, it's not just like this. You guys aren't in like an overnight, like we got together 2 months ago. Walk us through, the Stateline Band timeline.
Yeah, I moved back out to Midland back in 2015, I believe, and working out there, and I had put my guitar down years ago and really hadn't picked it up much, and Patrick got my number from a friend of mine that we knew.
Riding back from a drilling rig,
Yeah.
believe it or not. I was coming back from a drilling rig, and my salesman, Jody O'Brien, he's a cowboy roper and all this kind of stuff, and I said, man, a country guy that can just, sing his tail off and strum a guitar? No, I'm just playing. they can strum a guitar, and he said, man, I know two guys, he said, but I think Jody Dominguez would be your best bet. And so I got his phone number, I gave him a call, and I said, hey man, we're putting a new country band together, and we want to play some really honky-tonk stuff. He said, man, that sounds great. Yeah, I'm in, but I ain't wearing no skinny jeans. I said, all right, well then you're in, bud. So he showed up, and I set up the worst. It was the worst you've ever seen PA system. It was a mixture of like some home speakers and there was cables everywhere. It was a disaster.
Kind of like my studio here,
No, this is worlds beyond what we set up. And when he showed up, I was like, we do really have a real PA system. This was just something I slapped together so that we could hear you. And he sang one of the first verses of a George Strait song, and I said, okay, that's it. That's all we need. And that was back in 2015. So we've been playing. We've had, like I said earlier, we've had a few different band members and guys that have helped us along the way. Sabino Rivero Jr., Bruce Rogers, Kurt O'Brien. Those guys, all here from two of them here from Lubbock, and. Anyway, we can't thank those guys enough to getting us where we're at, and Danny Rodriguez out of Midland. Anyway, the band has come up. We've stayed plenty busy. We've been very blessed to stay busy. We did 52 gigs last year. So with the virus and everything, we were pleasantly surprised and happy with that. So.
That's pretty good. I did want to ask one question. If you look up you guys, there's a review for your 2017 song Hollywood that describes you as honky tonk Tex-Mex.
Yes, that's kind of how we started. We had an accordion, and one of the original founding members with him of Stateline was a hell of an accordion player, and Sergio Ueda. And so when we started, when I came in with that, that's kind of what they had going, and I liked what they already had, and so we just rode with it. We actually recorded that song here in Lubbock, not knowing anything, like, hey, let's go record. And Scott here in Lubbock at Amusement Park was great and helped us get that song out. we didn't promote it. It was just something we did just to say we've done it, and had a song that you could go find and download if you wanted to at our live shows. So that was a kind of a starting point, and I think that was, and 2 years later, we got serious with Hayden and Omar Vallejo in Austin at 512 Studios, and they brought us in, and they've kind of really developed us on our
the track
studio
that we need
stuff.
to be on.
Kind of
you know?
honed your sound, really.
Yeah, really, we kind of had some odds and ends. Matter of fact, we're going to release an EP called Odds and Ends, where, you know, we recorded this style song. We've got some island feel style songs. We've got some Tex-Mex stuff. We're going to put it all together on an EP, and then everything going forward is focused on the honky tonk, you know, traditional. I call it traditional, but it's traditional because 90s country is what I grew up listening to. So that's what we're focusing on now.
You're not so traditional. You've got, like, you know, washboard and, like, you know,
Right.
you know, some other. Although that'd be a fun
washed up bass,
sound, I'm
you know.
sure. You know.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Maybe that's a concept album.
So, 2020, you mentioned you got back out on tour. You know, you released, first thing you released was Time Clock to country radio. Had some, you know, pretty, you know, moderate response from that. And then the end of 2020, you were back out with Full Time Fool. I mean, it seems like you guys are, you guys kind of know where you're going.
We do. We start, and like I said, Hayden has helped us out a bunch, and Omar there at 512. But we took Time Clock. Kurt O'Brien, our original guitar player, wrote that song and released it. And you know, we weren't expecting much for being the first single. And you know, you're up there competing with the big boys. You know, Randy and Wade and Aaron Watts and all those guys. And it debuted at 86, and that was pretty wild to us. We weren't expecting that at all, and
I
actually
think
made
I
it
ran off in the bar ditch when I checked it the first time.
And-
when I got a call.
Yeah, and it made it all the way into the top 20. You know, made 19, and that was huge for us. And so, you know, it gave us a sense that maybe we do know what we're doing a little bit. So, full time, we were going back to the studio to try to do the next thing, and we came across Hayden is friends with the Ace and the Hoe Band guys, and he got Mike Daly to send him about eight songs or so, and Full Time Fool was one of them, written by Bobby Pounds, and we heard it, loved it, and we kind of put our own thing to it, and within just a couple of weeks we were in the studio recording Full Time
Definitely fit
Fool.
the vibe perfectly, you know.
So
Good time honky tonk song, you know.
yeah, and so that's where we're at right now. We've recorded about 9-10 other songs that we just kind of got in our bag right now, and just this with everything 2020 threw at everybody. You know, we didn't know what to do next, and we wanted to keep putting music out, but without being able to go out and promote it, and everything shut down and canceling, and you know all that, it was tough for all live music.
For everybody.
I'm just glad you guys had so many gigs in 2020. Y'all kept me working. I didn't even have to go get a job at Starbucks or anything.
So we opened
Great.
just a quick story. We opened for Rick Trevino, and Hayden was on stage playing fiddle, and you can tell how long you've been.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I started my career in '97 with Rick Trevino as his fiddle player, and you know that was back in the day, Running Out of Reasons to Run, Learning As You Go, that album. So it was, you know, top. They had 3 number ones, I believe, and I joined right after Running Out of Reasons to Run hit number 1. So I was 22. And I was a kid in a candy store, man. Hopped on the tour bus. We're going all over the place, playing the Grand Ole Opry, playing CMA Fest. Back then it was called Fanfare, right? And you know, playing huge shows and doing all that. And but to this day, I still play with Rick every now and then. And we happen to be playing at a place called Whiskey River in San Angelo, and these guys are opening. So that's how I met them.
I got his number from the sound man, and because anyway, I had to sit in with them for sound check because their drummer was going to be late. So I was like, that guy that was walking me through everything, what's his name? I got his name and his number, and I texted him for 4 years.
Was it that long?
It was 4 years. It was 4 years. I blew his phone up just trying to get him to, hey, man, you want to come play with the Stateline Band? man, I would, but I'm busy, you know. And
But I was actually booked. It wasn't like, you know, I was gonna play, but then I carried on living my life. You know, I didn't do that.
so anyway, I kept hounding him, and then through a weird coincidence, my best friend's brother's best friend in high school is the studio drummer at 512 Studios. And then when we walk into 512 Studios, and he's like, "Oh yeah, and our studio fiddle and guitar is Hayden Patera." And I was like, "Oh, I've been texting you for 4 years, dude." And,
That might have been an awkward conversation.
Right?
yeah.
Well, I always text you back.
Yeah, he always did. He
Oh,
always
that's
did
good.
text me back. He would always text me back. It might be 3 or 4 days, but you know, the gig was already gone. But hey, man, sorry I missed this text. But no. Anyway, so finally we get him to come play with us, and first gig out of quarantine. It's a little rough. You know, nobody had played in 6 months live, and so
I thought we weren't going to talk about that gig.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention anything else. I just said it was a little rough.
That
But,
gig, we call that gig the Voldemort gig. We shall not speak its name. When we drove past that venue, I swear the wind died down. The last time we drove by, we just looked and we just kept, keep going, Pat, keep going.
Yeah. So we've had a ton of fun with this. It's a bunch of fun, huge blessing. We just we're having a blast with it, and just the weird way that you know, the guy that I'd been hounding, you know, to come show us how to do this and this and this, and then there he is in the studio, and he was like, you know, I'll play with you guys. And then shortly after, man, I don't know. And then we're back. And so anyway.
Well, it's been a fun adventure because, you know, meeting these guys are just great guys and fun to hang with, you know, and everybody. It was just, you know, you do a lot of I do a lot of recording in the studio. Like I said, most of my work at 512 Studios in Austin. My childhood friend is Omar Vallejo of the rock band Vallejo, right? And he runs that studio, and so I'm always on call for different stuff there. And a lot of times you go in and it's a singer-songwriter or it's a band, but there's just not a vibe in there. Like, you're getting the work done, but it's work, you know, and it's not fun, right? It might be okay, but it's not fun. These guys got in, we were just laughing. I call these guys like my long-lost country brothers, you know? And honestly, like, these guys, I've been, you know, playing professionally in country. I'm a rock guy as well, but I've been doing country with Rick Trevino, then Asleep at the Wheel, Corey Morrow. I've been, like I said, very fortunate to have a long career playing fiddle, you know? And, yeah, you get burned out on something after a while, you know? And honestly, before I started kind of playing with these guys again, it was like, oh, I'm so tired of playing country dance halls, because it was just the same songs all the time and nothing fun. These guys really, working with these guys has reminded me why I love country, you know? And the set list that we put together, it's like, of course, you know, you're going to do Amarillo by Morning.
Right.
You got to do that. I mean, that's like the Bible, you know? But we get to pick really cool songs from the 90s and George Strait stuff that not everybody plays. I'm a big fan of doing stuff that not every band, you know, like when you go on Broadway in Nashville, there's a set list. There's an actual list of, 300 songs or something that all the bands have to play. And that's all you hear, you know? So when you get to play music that is awesome and that was great, like maybe might have been number ones back in the day, but no, not every dance hall band is playing it anymore. That's a lot of fun. And then you get to pick some like deep cuts, you know, like, because everybody has such a vast experience with country, especially the 90s stuff. Like, hey man, you remember that Tracy Lawrence song that was just, oh yeah, let's play that, you know? And it's great. We throw it together and it's awesome. No, we're not doing that one. There's some we just flat out draw the line on, but
Jody said I can't yodel.
Well, speaking of songs, let's hear one. You know,
Yes, sir.
floor is y'all's. This is the Stateline Band. You're listening to live from the Backroom on 106.1 Flip FM.
This song's called Time Clock, released in March of last year. Made it all the way to number 19 on the chart. And so let's go ahead and do that, guys.
Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
They're gonna set me up a time clock between the pool sticks and the jukebox. I'll punch in around 5 o'clock, and I'll be working overtime. With all the loneliness of trying to lose in a world of broken hearts and booze. I'll be drunk on the job a lot if they set me up a time clock. Now Mondays I drink for the hurting, from Sundays matinee, and Tuesdays I'll have another, 'cause it's just another day. Now Wednesdays and Thursdays are special. They give me prime for the long weekend that I know I'll spend on this bar stool, getting all tore down again. They're gonna set me up a time clock between the pool sticks and the jukebox. I'll punch in around 5 o'clock, and I'll be working overtime with all the loneliness I'm trying to lose. In a world of broken hearts and blues, I'll be drunk on the job a lot if they set me up a time clock. No sick leave or paid vacation or company dental plan. I show up on time every day now, even early when I can. And some days I feel like dying, and some days I'm a brand new man. Either way, I'll be on this bar stool, getting all tore down again. They're gonna set me up a time clock between the pool sticks and the jukebox. I'll punch in around 5 o'clock, and I'll be working overtime with all the loneliness I'm trying to lose. In a world of broken hearts and booze, I'll be drunk on the job a lot if they set me up a time clock. I'll punch in around 5 o'clock, and I'll be working overtime. Yeah, I'll be drunk on the job a lot if they set me up a time clock. Thank you to all you out there clapping right now.
You're listening to Live from the Backroom on 106.1 Flip FM. We are here with the Stateline Band. So I got to imagine the first time y'all performed that live, you got a pretty decent response from that song, because, you know, I don't know, it's hard not to tap along. It's hard not to kind of dance along a little bit. And, you know, and I'm slightly more reserved than most people, especially if I'm out. Well, I take that back. If I'm out in a beer hall, you know, a little bit more, you know, more lively, I guess. So didn't want to be dancing around too much in this small studio. So.
Yeah, we get a really good response to that song.
First time we ever played it was in Whiskey River. That's where we shot the video for Time Clock, and first time we ever played it was there. And I was so excited. And when on one of those big breaks, man, I rushed coming back in, and I started in the middle of that break, and it was atrocious. But I'm terrified of that break from here on out, so I watch it like a hawk now. But anyway, yeah, no, yeah, it gets a great, man, everybody gets out on the dance floor on that one. So it's man, when it comes on, the intro lick, when we've heard it in the studio, I was like, yes, that's it. That's what we want. And that's this man over here.
So you did shoot a video for that you know, starts off, I think, Jody, it's you kind of just walking in, you know.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yeah.
You walk in, you punch the time clock, and then you're like, hey, we're the Stateline Band, and just start going. I mean, obviously it makes sense to do it, you know, in a bar, but I mean, how did y'all come up with the idea for the video?
Well, we had a video photographer guy that we've used off and on for a lot of years. From here in Lubbock, Juan Guyton, and he kind of came up with all that. That was the first time I'd ever done a video. I'm not good on the camera. I'm not good behind this microphone. I mean, I'm nervous like a dog trying to cross Interstate 27 up here right now. I'm not good at any of this kind of stuff, you know. I'm getting a little more used to it. First time I nearly had a stroke. But
hey, we've actually got a cut of him walking up, and he walks up and he goes, "Hey, y'all, we're the Stateline Band. Is that what y'all wanted me to do?" And turn around. like, you can't say it. That's live on the mic, Johnny. Oh, okay.
Fourth wall, man.
Then he
Fourth
walks up and he goes, and I'm just busting your chops here because it's fun.
That's what we're
He
here for.
walks up and he says, "Hey, y'all with the Stateline Band," and walks off, and the music's playing. No time. They're going to set me up. None of that.
Well, in my defense, when people are making the movies, they do a scene at a time, and I
Right.
thought that's where we were at. And they were like, "No, we're going to go ahead and run this whole thing." I'm like, I don't want to sing this song 40,000 times today. Let's just do it in peace. Yeah, I didn't know. So anyway, yeah, I
Welcome
caught a
to the
little
show.
heck.
And the bar was actually open while we were doing it. So
Those
like
poor people.
we no kidding. I guarantee we played it 43 times in there that morning. We started at 10 and ended at 6. Came back and kicked off our show at 8 o'clock that night. And because we were already all set up. So, oh my goodness, I will never do that again.
Amen to that. That's a rookie mistake. Right
Oh
there.
man, I'm telling you. And the bartenders were like, "Please, no time clock," when we went to introducing it. And it wasn't because they didn't like it; it's because they had heard it 43 times and fixing to get number 44 during the
Right.
show.
I think every band probably makes that same mistake at some point. Like,
It
hey, we're going to
sounded
shoot
like
a
a
video.
great
Well, we
idea.
already have the venue. We're already going to be set up. Let's shoot the video and then do the gig. I did that before. Like, oh, no. No.
Yeah, that was a long day, and even longer for the people that were out there watching that. So,
The dancers were pouring sweat
Oh,
because we
God.
had to get a take. We had to get take after take after take. And then after they released the dancers, back then it was a 9-piece band. He was like, "Okay, I need to get 2 run-throughs of the full song from each member." I said, "That's 18 more times." "No way. We're not. You figure it out. We're not doing it." And Juan did a good job with it.
yeah, yeah.
Making a video is a lot of work.
It was.
People think, they see the fun, they see the final product, and they see, behind the scenes footage having a blast. But it's just like doing a movie or whatever, or a commercial or something. It's over, and you do it over again because they need a different angle on the camera, and it's just. But in the end, that's why it's a job,
Right.
It's a fun job, but there you go.
And I guess there's probably some similarities in the, doing a song. You have to do multiple takes, and you want to make sure you get one with the, the guitar is kind of, stands out more, or one with the fiddle that stands out more, and
Right.
it can get. I'm sure other bands I've talked with, you get to the point where you're just like, I cannot stand playing my own songs
Right,
anymore.
exactly. You better like what you're recording because you've been playing it for a long time,
So you don't want to do bop or anything like
Or,
that.
yeah, exactly, man.
No offense to Hanson if they're listening to a
Right.
small station in West Texas.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to have to get up and say, "Hey, girl," or none of that. So you gotta be
That is
careful.
one thing we can absolute 110% guarantee you're never going to hear from this band.
Well, let's hear another song then. We know what it's not going to be.
Hey, start this one off with "Hey Girl."
Yeah, there you go.
Hey girl, I'm a full-time fool.
Yeah, this is Full Time Fool. It's our current single out. It's number 15, I believe, right now.
Yes, sir.
Which is
And-
awesome. Thank you, people like you guys that play it for us,
Awesome.
and it's
Yes, sir.
we can't thank you all enough because it wouldn't happen without y'all.
And I want to tell you, I don't know if you saw yet, as of this morning, you're also in the top 30 on the CDX chart as well. So
Oh, I didn't see that yet.
you guys
Cool.
are
Awesome.
climbing them both.
Wow.
Congrats.
Awesome.
That's great, man, and thank you, man. Thank you for playing us and having us up here. And I said a minute ago, I'm always nervous doing these things, but I love them. I love doing it, so it's fun.
I do too. We really love it as soon as we're done. Like during it, we're like, both of us. We're getting better though. We're getting used to it a little bit.
I got a high dosage of what do they call that? Bring me, settle you down, whatever the heck. Yeah. Here in a little bit. Song's called Full Time Fool.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, I'm a full-time fool. I work around the clock. I make a living dropping quarters in this old jukebox. I keep my regular hours on this old bar stool. I'm here 8 to 5, day or night. I'm a full-time fool. I used to make my living in a suit and tie. I never once had to worry about getting by. I had everything that a man could want. Yeah, I screwed up and gave it up for this honky-tonk. Well, I'm a full-time fool. I work around the clock. I make a living dropping quarters in this old jukebox. I keep my regular hours on this old bar stool. I'm here 8 to 5, day or night. I'm a full-time fool. I used to be a fool on a part-time basis before the booze and the jukebox swallowed up my wages. She said I was lacking true devotion. She gave me the boot right into my new promotion. Well, I'm a full-time fool. I work around the clock. I make a living dropping quarters in this old jukebox. I keep my regular hours on this old bar stool. I'm here 8 to 5, day or night. I'm a full-time fool. I'm a full-time fool. I work around the clock. I make a living dropping quarters in this old jukebox. I keep my regular hours on this old bar stool. I'm here 8 to 5, day or night. I'm a full-time fool. I'm here 8 to 5, day or night. I'm a full-time fool. Yes, sir.
You're listening to Live from the Backroom on 106.1 Flip FM. This is the Stateline Band. So now comes the time in the show I ask you guys kind of some oddball questions. First off, you're from San Angelo, Austin. Remind me again. I'm gonna run blank on the list of cities. Leander,
San Angelo, Austin, Llano,
sorry.
Lubbock,
Okay.
Brownwood.
Right.
and Ingram outside of Kerrville.
Ingram. Okay. None of those are on the state line.
True that.
No, they are not. That's a good question.
But Brooks and Dunn was taken when we were naming it. So,
Very fair point. You're right. Yeah.
so yeah, there's actually I've been asked why is it called the Stateline Band and
Why is it called the state?
when we
You're the
stopped-
lead singer. You can just come up with anything and just
Yeah,
tell
we
you.
were just like, yeah, that works. We Googled it. At the time, there wasn't any other Stateline bands that we could find, and it stuck. The Stateline Band, and yeah, there's no real significance. I know that's probably not the right thing to say, but
Well, maybe just being cool because everybody else has a story behind the name.
that's right. Yeah, we're different.
It's a great name, you know.
You know, and that's the thing. This is truly a band, and it's not about me. It's not about Patrick. It's not about any one person.
Well,
It's kind of about Patrick.
Maybe
Let's not lie to ourselves.
yeah, you know, when I came on, it was well established already, and so there's no, you know, I wouldn't feel comfortable being in like the Jody something or another.
Me either.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, State Line works good for us, and keeps us all kind of
Jody
level
Dominguez
headed.
and the Stateline Band is just too long.
Right.
That doesn't even fit on a CD case.
Not that a lot of people are using CDs right now anymore.
Right, I know.
But-
I just dated myself
Yeah.
pretty bad.
So, in that conversation we just had, you know, one of the things I also noticed, and also noticed when you guys were walking up, you seem to like each other. That you seem to enjoy being around each other. You know, what is it that makes this band, as you mentioned, what is it that makes you guys click or tick that you think that works so well?
We never miss an opportunity to bust one's chops wide open. So, I mean, when we're rigging up, the stage, getting rigged up, setting up drums, setting up equipment, all of this stuff, it's just a constant. I mean, you got to have pretty thick skin, and I think, you know, with just everybody cuts up. Nobody really has an ego. Yeah, we play like we do. You know, Jody yesterday asked if I, you know, because he flew in, and I said I'd pick him up, and he asked if he got his if I got his transportation rider in the contract, and I said, yeah, I did. I cleaned out the bed of my truck, buddy. So that's what makes us click, man. Is everybody gets along. Nobody's taking themselves entirely too serious. You watch videos. If I make a mistake, I just smile, and Hayden looks back and he makes a note on his hand, like on his fake notepad.
Oh, I had a blast doing that.
So, you know, we just try to have fun doing it, man, and not get too.
We all share kind of a similar sense of humor and
sick.
Yeah,
We get the
sometimes.
same movie references.
Yeah.
That's a large part of our entire conversation.
That's right. Speak
And, you know,
fluent movie.
We're all. It's not like we're still kids trying to do this. I mean, we're all grown men that hadn't grown up.
There you go. That sounds like a line
That's
in
a
a
song right there.
Write it down.
Write her down.
Is that like something toward me or something?
Oh no. Stan's Scantling over here, and he needs to wear his microphone out a little bit because he's probably the funniest guy in the whole deal.
Hey, we were riding in yesterday, and he said we were talking about this song, and this song come on, and Leroy Parnell, A Heart's Desire, and he was like, man, that song fits your voice, man. You should sing that song. And I'm like, man, I can barely control my voice. I can't control my voice. I don't sing unless it's a family event and they want to hear me do Bob Seger Old Time Rock and Roll, and that's it. And other than that, I'm not going to do it at a paid gig and all, you know. And he was like, no, man, I'm serious. You should work on that one. That's really good. I said, man, I've got the click in this ear, and then I've got the band in this ear. How am I going to sing? And I don't understand how some of the guys do that. And he was like, yeah, on second thought, you might want to wait a few months. So,
yeah, Stan's been with us, I don't know, probably a year now.
Is it only a year? Yeah, I guess March is when we started doing all the Facebook Live stuff.
And he's the pedal steel guitar player, and dude is
Guitar player, dobro player.
I was working at a big and tall men's store, and Pat came in, and he goes, hey, do you know any steel players? I go, no, but I said, can I try out? Because I'm not cutting it here. And so I'm still working on it. Yeah.
Dude, you're doing good work. And I need to talk to you about some shirts afterwards, I guess.
Oh, he keeps us laughing, man, because, you know, he's always making fun of not being tall, making fun of himself. And he said, we were having dinner one night after we left the studio. We did the 512 Studios Live show. And anyway, he said, man, Pat, did I ever tell you, you know, what I do on the side besides just playing music? I said, no. And he's like, man, I break horses. He's like, are you serious? And he flipped his phone around and had a picture of a Shetland pony on there.
Video of Shetland pony, dude. Oh my god.
Breaks horses. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that that keeps us all,
Yeah.
you know, running together, and we all have the ability to hang out after, not even musically, just to be able to hang out and, you know, go.
Yeah, it's fun to work with, play, and make music with people you actually like. You know, that doesn't always happen. Trust me.
All right, well, gentlemen, we have very much appreciated having you guys here today. You know, one way we would love to end the show, and it looks like you guys might be ready to do that, is turn it over to you, let you play us out, basically. What a song that you think would fit kind of the last song people are going to hear on this recording and on this conversation. And
Well, I'm glad you asked, because the next song is probably the next one we're gonna be recording. Hayden brought this one to us, and I'm gonna let him tell you about it.
Yeah, I've been very lucky. Several years ago, probably close to 20 years ago now, we were doing some jam sessions at Nephew's in San Marcos on the square, and it was members of the Ace in the Hole band. And I had gone to they used to have a legendary jam session on Mondays, right? When I first joined Rick Trevino's band in '97, my buddy Jason Roberts from Asleep at the Wheel, who I'd met through Rick, said, "Hey, let's go down to the jam at Nephew's." I'm like, "Oh, what's that?" He goes, "Dude, that's like George Strait's guys jamming." I'm like, "Really? Can you get on stage and play with them?" And so we got up there, it was like, played fiddle, and I just remember seeing Mike Daly, the Steel Players, road case, and it said George Strait, and I was like, 22. I'm like, oh my God, So I get up there and play fiddle and sing, and then several years later, they started doing a Tuesday night thing, and they asked me to sing and play fiddle, and that was like a great honor for me. So I got to know Benny MacArthur really well. He's one of my very best friends, and he's been with George probably close to 40 years now. He's in pure country. I would say he won when I introduced him on stage, I'm like, nominee for Best Supporting Actor in Pure Country, Benny MacArthur, right? But he's awesome. He's the coolest guy, and he's taught me so much. He's like my mentor, And years ago, it has to be probably almost 10 years ago, we were traveling. We'd go play on the road all the time, and we'd go to Moe's place in Katy, or come out here to Lubbock and play. And so I would always ride with Benny, and he would always turn me on to some songs he'd been writing. And he sang this one. It was just, obviously he's driving, and he's just tapping on the thing, and he's singing this song called Dance Hall Devil. And I always remembered it. It's like, man, it's a great song. And then you forget about it for a while, And then when I got with these guys, and like, okay, well, what are we gonna follow full-time Fool with? Something fun, but maybe let's change up the groove. And I was like, oh my God, Dance Hall Devil. So I asked Benny if we could do it, and he graciously allowed us to do it. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not official or anything, but we're hoping that he will guest on the track and play, because nobody can pick that guitar part like Benny can, and just it's such a cool tune, and fits totally the vibe of Stateline, and it's some little more rocking, but still real beer joint rock and roll kind of thing as I explained.
And anytime we can get anywhere close to being in some kind of conversation with George Strait or his band, I'm in.
I can't wait. If Benny comes into the studio, Jody might stroke out. We're gonna have to have some meds on.
Oh, usually I'm not fanboy, those guys, whatever. But I'm gonna get a picture with that man.
Here we go.
Song's called Dance Hall Devil. Next one coming
for the first time ever on radio.
Yeah, first time.
2, 3, 4, 1.
I slipped through those swinging doors like a thief in the night. My horns under my hat, I'd be hard to recognize. With a lie on my lips and snakeskin on my feet, I'm an old dance hall devil, that's me. Slither across the hardwood, I put my back up to the bar. I order a double bourbon, I light up my big cigar. I look out across the halos, now which one will it be? For an old dance hall devil like me. When I'm on the loose, out on a tear, them honky-tonk angels, they ain't got a prayer. 'Cause when the devil gets to dancing, honky-tonking and romancing, he's a demon screaming, hell-raising machine. And all the cowboys at the bar, they can't stand the heat from an old dance hall devil like me. Well, there's a brunette at the bar, she's peeling off a long neck label. That redhead slipped her number as I walked by her table. And over that cowboy's shoulder, a blonde just gave a wink to an old dance hall devil like me. When I'm on the loose, out on a tear, honky-tonk angels, they ain't got a prayer. And when the devil gets to dancing, honky-tonking and romancing, he's a demon screaming, hell-raising machine. And all the cowboys at the bar, they can't stand the heat from an old dance hall devil like me. From an old dance hall devil like me. Thank you.